Hello everybody, it's Mk6 Matt and welcome back to yet another one of these vlog style videos where I'm just sort of working on my car. And the last one that I made, we did a carbon cleaning where I walnut blasted all of these, and I think that came out pretty well. But the next thing I want to do is upgrade this water pump down here with a fully aluminum one, which I have in the garage over there. But yeah, like I said, this is more of a vlog than anything. It's not really a tutorial on how to do this, but I will link tutorials down in the description below if you guys want to learn how to do this or are trying to do this. So I've taken the electrical connectors off of each injector here, and I was able to move the little harness over here and sort of get it out of the way, and now you can see there's plenty of room to get in here and take this water pump out. Alright, so a little update here. I just pulled off this hose. Now this was the hose that the guy in the reviews for the aluminum pump said that needed to be replaced because it was different on the new pump, but it turns out that the two hoses are exactly the same. So if you have a Mk6 GTI and you're doing this, you don't need to get another one of these hoses. Coolant is pouring everywhere though. I kind of have a little thing to catch it down there. It's doing an alright job. And by the way, at some point in this video I'm going to switch over to the new vlogging camera that I actually bought for this channel. Technically the quality will be a little bit worse than the camera that you're watching right now, but the camera that I'm holding right now is so much bigger. The camera I bought is still good quality, do not worry. It's just much smaller so I can really move it around. So an update here, I do have the water pump off, as you can see down there. Still haven't got this belt off yet, but we do have quite a serious issue here, if I do say so myself. So the internals of these water pumps are both different, and that is actually an issue because I have to swap this piece on to this one because it has an extra sensor because my car is a CBFA. So that is definitely an issue. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do here yet. I definitely have to think this through. I don't know if I can just put this one on and just leave the sensor unplugged. I don't know if that would work. It might. So an update here. It turns out that I need to get a new water pump, an actual CBFA one. FCP Euro listed the one that I bought, the whole kit, that was $300. They listed it as made for CBFA and CCTA, but it is not. That is not true. So I got to contact FCP Euro back and try to send this back to them and get my money back, and we'll see what happens. And I got to buy a new water pump too. So this is just a really horrible end to this right now for now. So who knows when I'm going to be able to get another pump for this thing. So at this point in time, I have ordered an OEM kit that actually fits the CBFA off of ECS's website. ECS actually has a thing, like a little disclaimer that says, oh, this does or does not fit the CBFA one in terms of the water pumps. FCP Euro did not have any of that on their website. FCP Euro's completely said that it fit this car, which just was not true. So I'm going to be emailing FCP Euro to see if I can get a full refund for what I bought. So an update for you guys, FCP Euro actually got back to me this morning, very quick response. They acknowledged that the listing was wrong for the water pump, and they sent me a label. And of course I can just use FCP Euro's return policy to return all of the parts for a full refund, and they will pay for shipping. That's what the shipping label was for. So I'm gonna go ahead and package this up and ship it back to FCP Euro. Alright everybody, so even though I don't have the OEM water pump today to actually replace it, there are still a few things that I can work on today, like sort of cleaning up the whole engine area, you know what I mean? Because you really can't get in here when the whole motor is together. I also have to take this belt off. And the new intake manifold actually came in today. Here is the OEM one, and here is the new one. Like I said earlier, this intake manifold was super cheap. It really does not feel too bad, but you can tell it's definitely made out of a different material, and the finish really is not that great on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the new gaskets that it came with, at least on the old intake manifold. I'm just going to clean up the old intake manifold really nice, and if this manifold fails for whatever reason, I will still have this to swap it over. Just because I'm running more boost than stock, and I know that this manifold works with that, I really don't want to risk it with an entirely different part made out of different plastic. You can see here I've been using some heavy-duty engine degreaser here in the manifold to try to break up a lot of that carbon that's built up in the manifold over the years. Pretty satisfying, honestly. Alright everybody, the intake manifold is all cleaned up now. I've put the new gaskets on, and yeah, leave it in the car. So I did end up getting this belt off down here, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get this bolt off. It's a long story, but I'm just gonna walk the new belt on And I also went ahead and cleaned up the motor just a little bit more. I know it still looks really dirty, but there's literally like chunks of rock down there and stuff, so it's a lot cleaner now. So yeah, honestly, at this point in time, my next move is to literally just wait for the water pump to come in. And once that comes in, I can actually finish this project. And finally get to replacing these injectors as well. I really wanna get those out and put the new ones in. Alright everybody, so welcome back. My new water pump should be coming in today. It's already past noon though, so it's gonna be coming in a little bit later. I've just been sort of getting things ready. I put in the new injectors, and I have to say they look very happy in there. And the old ones that I pulled out were absolutely disgusting. And I've cleaned things up around here just a little bit. I have also attached the throttle body to the intake manifold here. So the intake manifold is pretty much ready to be put right on. But yeah, everybody, right now we wait for our water pump. All right, everybody, so my ECS package came in, and yes, the water pump is the correct one, straight from Volkswagen OEM. And there you can see that is the extra sensor that was not on the aluminum one. An FCP Euro said it fit. It didn't fit. I got my full refund today, by the way, for that. And yeah, we have all the extra hardware and stuff here as well. So yeah, I'm gonna start by putting this water pump in. This is why Volkswagen gets made fun of, is because they build parts like this out of plastic. This is the new water pump. I was just putting it in. Just broke. Piece of plastic broke right off. So now this thing is unusable. I have to use the old housing and like stuff all the new internals into it. So yeah. This is why Volkswagen gets made fun of. Alright everyone, just an update here. As you can see, the engine is now back together, fully back together, and it runs. As of right now, there's no leaks or anything that I have noticed. So what ended up happening with the water pump is I broke the one that I bought, or I should say the housing that I bought, by putting a Torx bolt in that was too long. I put the wrong one in. If you do this job, make sure for at least the water pump bolts and all that stuff, make sure they're labeled with where they go on the water pump so this doesn't happen to you. I basically backed the housing off of itself, but it was pretty busy putting this whole thing back together and to try to get it to run by the end of the night. It's been a really long time I've been working on this thing now, and I really want to get it done, so sorry for not recording that part. But we actually cycled all the coolant through the system by just turning the key and not even starting it, even though it is belt driven, because on the Mk6 GTI there is like a little water pump in there that's electric that circulates coolant every time you shut the car off, and just turning the key activates that pump. My next move here is to put the crash bar on and throw this thing back together. Alright everybody, things are going pretty smoothly so far. The crash bar is fully on, and the whole radiator and intercooler piece is fully where it's supposed to be and attached. Now my horns here, the bolts that like hold these on are just missing entirely. Like as soon as I took the bumper off, I noticed they're just gone. So I do have some that are going to fit, and they're on their way today. But next up is the headlights. Well everyone, the GTI is finally back together and running. I've been driving around for like 2 days now. It's a long story, so I'm gonna pull this thing into the garage and then we can get into it. Yes everyone, as you can see, she is running great. I do have a check engine light, but that was there before. That's for an O2 sensor. Alright everyone, so popping the hood here. As you can see, here is the motor all together. So a few days ago when I recorded the last clip, the car was running and fully back together. Everything was swell. However, I actually forgot to put the little things that go over the injectors. They're like little metal rings. They sort of like hold the injector in place and like keep it pressured down onto the head. And the car ran fine without those, but I really didn't want to risk everything, so I took another day and I pulled everything off. And this time I did it without actually removing any of this stuff. But I took everything off again, put those back on, and then put it all back together, and now it's running. So far, I don't have any issues with leaking coolant or anything like that. And this Xerox Valvoline G40, which is like G12++, which this car runs G12 normally. I gotta say, it does a great job at working as a coolant. But yeah, everything is back together now. I made a lot of mistakes while doing this water pump job. So I really urge you guys to learn from all my mistakes in this video. You know, organize everything into bags, which I did do in the video, but also make sure you know where everything goes, you know, for the water pump so you don't put the wrong Torx bolt thing in. And you really don't need to take all of this stuff off to do the job, but if it's But if you've never done it before, it does make it a lot easier to pull all of that stuff off. So that's really up to you. If you're good at working in cramped areas and you're good at working on cars, you don't have to really worry about taking all that off. But I took everything off, and it really made it easier to learn how to do everything. But my second time around, I did not have to worry about it. Yes, everyone, that was my water pump adventure working on the Mk6 GTI. Check out my other videos. I have another video on the carbon cleaning that I also did when I pulled off the manifold. And I have a lot of other like helpful Mk6 videos out. So yeah, check all those videos out. I am Mk6 Man. I have some cool videos planned, so make sure you are subscribed with the bell notification on, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.